fires it out, and it is intercepted again.
He's up off the field. He's got it in wide open down the left sideline. He gets the edge. He stiff arms a couple of tacklers. Look at this. What a hit. That is a great play. He's got a receiver. He's got it deep. Oh, what an interception. Wow. He's got an opening.
Got past the second level. One man to beat. We are live from Dwyer Field here in Mason, Ohio, and we have a competitive GMC matchup here against the Lakota West Firebirds and the Mason Comets. Hi, my name is Brian Hunnell, alongside me Jake Candell, and we are broadcasting live from ICRC Sports, and we have a great matchup here in store between the Comets and Firebirds, and both teams won their last week's matchup, and they're coming into this matchup with a lot of momentum here. And a lot of talent on both sides of the ball, D1 recruits all around, and we should have a great game here in Mason. And the way I see it in this game, it's a matchup between two very good running backs, senior Matt Sora and senior David Afari. It'll be a great competitive matchup in this game.
Yeah, clear skies today. Temperature hovering just around 85 degrees. Should be a nice night. Now, looking at Lakota West's last game, they beat Oak Hills for only their first win of the season, 31-24. That was the most points they've scored all year, and they really did it through the ground, as you said. The running back David Afari, he picked up 171 yards on 24 attempts and a TD. He's second in the GMC in rushing this year. What do you think about my Jaden Horton?
My Jaden Horton is a run-first quarterback. He likes to scramble with the football. He has 47 carries for 46 yards, but 47 attempts on the year. So he hasn't gotten going yet, but so he's due for a big game here. But the main centerpiece of this offense, like you said, is David Afari. He is only a sophomore running back, so he has 2 more years after this year. So, I mean, the sky's the limit for him. But, I mean, like you said, Horton, they don't really look to pass it all that much. With only 394 yards on the season so far, only 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. So this is definitely a run-based offense that the Firebirds like to run, and Horton plays a huge part of that with his ability to run. I mean, the big strength here for the Firebirds is their defense. They have 2 verbal commits to University of Kentucky, Tyler Bentley and Xavier Peters. Xavier Peters is 8th in the GMC in total tackles at 24, and he's really the centerpiece of this Firebird defense.
Yeah, he's had 2.5 sacks on the season. That's tied for second in the GMC. The one thing, although West did get their first win last week, the one thing they do need to cut down on is penalties. They picked up 19 penalties last game for 176 yards against a team such as Mason, who doesn't make many mistakes. That could be costly, so they would definitely need to look to cut those penalties down, cut down the unforced errors.
And they're also playing a Comets offense that is first in the GMC in total points scored through 4 weeks of this year. So a team like the Comets take advantage of those turnovers and penalties. And if we compare that to the West offense, they are 8th in scoring and 8th in total offense. So the key to them is to get their offense started, and if they want to keep pace with this high-flying Mason Comet offense. And on the other side of the Comets, I'm looking at Matt Soar. He's been the traditional bell cow ever since he's been a sophomore year. Ever since he's been a sophomore. And Soar has really been the centerpiece of the Comets offense, and he's really been the go-to guy. He's taken a while to kind of start up this year. I mean, the teams have been kind of game planning around Sora each week and out. He's been kind of quiet since the Springboro game, but he had 2 touchdowns last week against Hamilton. So maybe he's kind of getting back on track here against the Firebirds this week.
Yeah, you talked about the offense of Mason, but what may even have more momentum coming into this game is the Mason defense. 2 weeks ago, they defeated Withrow, shutting them out. Then 7 points against Sycamore, 7 against Hamilton. So only 14 points allowed in these last 3 games combined. They have excellent corners. The Mazzell twins, both with 2 interceptions on the season. It's going to be very tough for West to really get anything going in here if this Comet defense keeps playing as they have thus far in the season.
And both sides have talent all around on the defensive side of the ball. For the Comets, they have two defensive backs, Tyree and Terrell Mizell, both identical twin brothers. And they've both had 2 picks on the season. Each of them, through these 4 games, have gotten an interception between the two of them. And they are both very athletic, ball-hawking cornerbacks that like to break up the passes, and they're very aggressive in coverage. That can warrant some pass interference calls, but I mean their aggressive style of play really sets the tone for this Comet defense.
Yeah, and the one thing about Will Adams, the Mason quarterback, is that's so dangerous about him is that he can run it, having 40 carries for 208 yards on the season, but he also doesn't make mistakes in the air. He has a 5-to-1 TD to interception ratio this season, and he's really shown that defenses can't key in on the running or passing game. They've got to respect both, and it's really helped the Comets this year as they've started off 3-1 compared to just 1-3 on the other side for Lakota West.
Adams is definitely a playmaker for the Comets, and it's something the Firebirds should game plan. You need somebody the Firebirds should game plan around. And as you see on your screen here, both teams are starting to take the field. And it's youth football night here in Mason as the Mason youth football players ran the field not too long ago. And the Mason Comet, the Lakota West fans are on their feet, cheering on their Firebirds as they take the field. It's a packed stadium here tonight, and both sides are excited for some GMC play.
Yeah, I know tonight, at least for Mason, it's Tackle Cancer Night. Fans wearing lavender-colored shirts in support of cancers all around. Really great showing, supporting that great cause by the Mason fans tonight.
And the cool thing on the back of the shirts, they have a little white bar, and they get to write a name or two of friends and family that have been affected by a particular type of cancer. I know a particular, not too long ago, Dave Seegers was an assistant principal here in Mason. He died from pediatric cancer. So this is a cause that's very relevant in the Mason community, and it's cool to see that so many people are coming for this great cause.
And this game today, though, this is a big game. Both teams 1-1 in the GMC right now. Mason 3-1 on the year total. Lakota West 1-3, but as I said previously, 1-1 in the GMC. So this game right here is important on the season. You'd much rather be 2-1 than 1-2 and under 500. So both teams going to be going all out tonight.
Very exciting matchup here in store with major GMC implications. And begin this game, the Mason Comets will receive the kickoff here, and they will have the ball first. Lakota West will kick it off with junior kicker Nicholas Jort. And before we start this game, what's a key for each team in this game?
I think for Lakota West at least, they need to cut down on the penalties. As I said, no mistakes, and they got to get the ball rolling on the ground. If they can even just get 3-4 yards of carry, it's going to be very tough to stop them offensively. And what do you think the key is for Mason?
Mason's got to contain sophomore running back David Afari, as he's been dominant this year. And we are underway on the kickoff. Tanner Canoe will take it for a touchback, and the Comets will have the ball with their own 20-yard line to start this game.
I'm looking to see what the Comets start out with here. Based on what I've seen in the previous games, I would guess that they're going to try to get some runs, just try to get the offense picking up a little bit of steam, and that will open up plays in the passing game. But let's see what they come out here on this first drive. We always know the first drive is very pivotal when it comes to just how the team starts out.
And here comes Adams in the pistol formation with Sora behind him. This is a loud stadium here at Dwyer Field. Looks like Dardis in motion. Adams drops back the pass. He throws to Austin Croy for a great catch, and that's a 15-yard catch to the senior wide receiver, Austin Croy, and that'll be a first down for the Comets.
Great play call by the Comets. Quick slant, just an easy pitch and catch, and it allows them to pick up the first down, and that should give Will Adams some more confidence.
And the Comets are running a no-huddle offense. If they hurry up to the line, Adams receives the snap and hands it off to Sora. Sora's moving his feet, and he gets about a gain of 3 or 4 on the play, as there was a huge pile at the line of scrimmage as Sora kept moving his feet.
Yeah, that's the first run we've seen this game, and pretty good job there by the West defense, just swallowing it up. Sora really had no holes, not much he could do there. Now looks like the Comets are going to be spreading it out a little bit more on this play here.
4 wide receivers on the play, 2 on the left, 2 on the right. Sora is to Adams' right. Adams is awaiting the call from the sideline. Sora will move to the left side as Adams receives the snap. He hands it off to sophomore wide receiver Alec Dardis on the end around, and there's nothing doing there for the Comets, as there'll be a no gain on the play.
Yeah, not much there for Dardis, but last game we did see him get his first receiving touchdown of the year, just cut across the field, took it for about 30 yards into the end zone. I know that was exciting for him as a sophomore.
Dardis will head to the sideline, and it's 3rd and 7 here for the Comets, and it's their first 3rd down here in this ball game to see how they respond. And Adams receives the snap, and he'll give it off to Sora, and there's nowhere to go for Sora as he's stopped by a group of Firebirds. And looks like the Comets here will go out and punt.
Surprising that they would go with the run up the middle on a 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. I know the Comets are mainly a ground-focused offense, but it's very tough to get 8 yards on one run up the middle. So it's a good job, though, by the Firebirds to force a 4th down early on in the game.
Firebirds are known for their defense, as they are pretty good at stopping teams on 3rd down. Senior punter Reed Naglich will take the snap as he punts it off to senior defensive back for West, number 6, Cedric Thompson. Takes a weird bounce and nowhere to go for Thomas as he's met by senior defensive back Terrell Marzell. Thomas was able to slip out of the tackle, but he met a swarm of Comets, and it was a great coverage there by the Comet punt team.
Great job just swallowing him up right after he got the ball and forcing the Firebirds to have to go over 80 yards, actually over 85 yards on this drive, putting them back inside their own 20-yard line. As we said, Mason wasn't really able to get much on their first drive. Let's see if Firebirds are able to change that for their team.
And Jaden Horton takes the field for this West offense. Starting at their own 11-yard line. They're in the shotgun formation with 2 backs to the left and right of him. And it's a play action. Horton will keep it, and nowhere to go for the quarterback, Horton, and he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
You mentioned in the pregame Horton likes to run. He's ran 47 times, but really what happened there has been the story of his season. Not much on the run game. He's averaging under 1 yard per carry, and there he was tackled for a loss, and now they're in their own 10. They need to get some yards, even if it's just to get their punter a little bit more room.
Looks like 2nd and 14, 2nd and 15 here for the Firebirds. Horton is under center, and he gives it off to, looks like David Afari. And again, nowhere to go for Afari. He's about a gain of 3, if that, as he's pushed out of bounds by the Comet.
Good job by the Comets stopping Afari on his first run of the game. We haven't really seen many explosive plays this far from either team. The defenses have been holding strong thus far in the game, and now this is a tough 3rd and 11 from inside their own 10 for the Firebirds.
Great job there by Mazzell to push him out of bounds. Great job of contain. And Horton will give it back to Afari, and nowhere to go for Afari as Camden Wood, and it looks like Zaid Hamden was there behind the line of scrimmage as the Comets defense forced a 3 and out here for the Firebirds.
Yeah, like Mason, they ran it on 3rd and long. I wonder if they did that just because they don't want to make a mistake inside their own 10 and give the Comets good field position. But either way, the Comets should be getting the ball somewhat close to midfield or even inside the Firebirds territory.
And the punt is off, almost blocked there, and Tanner Canoe will call for the fair catch as he falls down there at the Mason at the West 46-yard line, and the Comets will have exceptional field position to start this drive.
Yes, when you get field position like this, you've got to convert, especially early on in the game, because you may not get those opportunities in the third and fourth quarter. So here, the Comets are going to want to not just get a field goal, but try to go down and turn this into 7 points right here.
Both teams take the field as there's two backs in the backfield for the Comets, Trey Knapp and Sora. Knapp is to the Adams left as Adams receives the snap, hands it off to Sora, and he is met behind the line of scrimmage by number 52, Ladonis Griffin. It looked like number 9, Xavier Peters, was there as well, and there was nowhere to go here for Sora.
Yeah, even as Sora was able to get out of the first tackle, he still was stuffed 3 yards behind the line by Xavier Peters, as you said. And that's not what the Comets are looking for in the first play of the drive. When they're inside Firebird territory, getting backed up on the first play. Now it forces a 2nd and 15-ish, and it's going to be tough for them to decide what to do here, whether to run and still maybe have a 3rd and long, or pass and risk a mistake, or incompletion, forcing a 3rd and 15. So this is not a great position here for the Comets.
Jake Kiefer, the West defensive tackle, briefly left to play for an injury. Adams receives the snap, drops back the pass. He runs it and is slammed by number 9, Xavier Peters. He is making his presence felt early in this game, and Adams gains 1 or 2, if that, and that was a big hit there by Xavier Peters.
Yeah, we mentioned him in the pregame. 2nd in the GMC with 2.5 sacks. That's his 3rd and a half sack on the season right there, forcing a 3rd and long. And I'm not sure what Mason is going to want to do here, whether they're going to want to try to go with a deep throw and risk an interception, or just be safe.
Adams rolls out to the right. He stops his feet. He throws up to Sora. He's wide open, but Sora was unable to reel in that pass, and it'll be an incomplete pass here for the Comets, and it'll be 4th down.
Good play call there. He forced all the defenders to the right side of the field, then threw it back to the left. Sora looked like if he caught it, he would only have 1 man to beat before getting a 1st down or even a touchdown, but just wasn't able to reel it in there, unfortunately, and the Comets are not able to convert on that great field position that they were given.
Great stand there by the Firebird defense, holding the Comets to a 3-and-out. Naglic's punt is up in the air, and it takes a funky bounce there, and the Comets will down the ball around the 16-yard line of Lakota West, and the Comets are winning the field position battle here early in this game. But that was an impressive showing there by the Lakota West defense on that possession.
Yeah, impressive showing by the defense. Let's see if the offense can pick it up here. They didn't have any success. 3-and-out on the first drive. Once again, backed up inside their own 20. Have to go well over half the field, well over 3/4 of the field, actually, to be able to get to the get a touchdown here. So I know the Mason defense is going to be excited about this field position right here.
Horton receives the snap and hands it off to Afari, and Afari has running room, makes a move on 19, Dominic Nigro, and that was quite the juke move there. And it'll be a 1st down for the Firebirds, and we see early in this game Afari making plays.
Bad field position right there, suddenly turned into, suddenly gets him to the 34 off a great run by Afari.
And Horton gives it to Afari. He decides to keep it. And Horton has some room in the outside, and he's tackled out of bounds there by number 19, Dominic Nigro. And that's close to the 1st down. That'll be a 1st down for the Firebirds. And 2 explosive plays here for the Firebirds on this possession.
Yeah, we saw the effects of that first run by Afari there. He faked it to him, and the whole defense nearly ran after Afari, giving him a lot of open room.
And Horton throws it out to number 14, Dylan Jones. He stumbles on his feet there for a gain of 7.
I know Dylan Jones last game had his best game of the season, picking up 6 receptions for 83 yards and a touchdown. And there he gets the catch for a pretty nice gain, setting up a very manageable 2nd down and 4.
Horton in the shotgun. 2 receivers to his left, 1 to the right. As he receives the snap, he gives it off to Afari, and then more running room here for Afari as he runs to the outside. There's a flag on the field, and he's tackled by number 2, Jalen Johnson. And there's an injured Comet on the field. Looks like maybe number 8, Tyree Merzell, but there's a flag on the field as Merzell tries to get up. We're waiting what the call here.
Yeah, it felt like Afari almost ran 15 or 20 yards there, but really only picked up 4 since he did cut it outside so far. And this will be taken back here. Looks like a holding call on the Firebirds, taking them back from a 2nd and 4 to a much more difficult 2nd and 14 in their own territory now.
And number 13, Jake Orlando, the junior defensive back, will come in for Tyree Merzell. It looked like he maybe got a stinger on that play, but he was able to go over to the Comets' sideline. And it's 2nd and 14 here for the Firebirds. Horton lined up in the shotgun. He receives the snap and hands it off to Afari. Afari being very patient, not much doing here for the Firebirds. And that'll be a no gain for the Firebirds by Afari.
Great contain there by number 52 there, Chase Evans. He really just forced Afari to keep running outside, wouldn't let him cut it back in, and it allowed Terrell Merzell to just come in and swoop in and get the tackle there for a loss.
That was 52, Chase Evans on the tackle, as Horton passes it up to Jones. And that'll be about a gain of 3 on the 3rd and long. And that'll be 4th down here for the Firebirds.
The penalty really killed them there, going from a 2nd and 4 to a 2nd and 14. And after that, they really weren't able to get anything on offense. That screen there on the last play was just swallowed up by Mason. And it just leads to another Firebird punt, showing how costly his unforced errors are.
And Jort will receive the punt as he high punt up in the air. And looks like it'll go out of bounds at around the 26, 27 yard line. And so far in this game, it's been a defensive matchup here. Both defenses not giving up an inch. And both offenses are having trouble starting this game.
Yeah, we saw this in the last game with Mason against Hamilton. In the first quarter, both teams really unable to get anything going. We've seen Mason get off to some slow starts this season. It looks like that's what's happening here again. Now, not nearly as good field position as last time, but they are still going to want to pick up some momentum here, pick up some plays through the ground, through the air, and try to get some points on the board.
Adams receives the snap, he drops back to throw it, and he is pressured. He throws it out to number 88, Christian Hutchinson. And it looked like they tried to set up a screen pass, but really nothing doing there for the Comets, as Dakota West defense had 5 or 6 people in the backfield to disrupt that play.
Yeah, we saw about 7 players blitz in on Adams, giving him no time to throw. He just had to check it down to Hutchinson there. Unable to get anything really on that play.
2nd 11 here for the Comets as Adams awaits the call from the sideline. He'll receive the snap and keep the QB keeper, and Adams will run it for a gain of about 3 or 4 on the play. Adams is a very multi-dimensional quarterback. He can beat you with his arm and his legs. And that'll give the Comets about a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5 here. And let's see if they can convert on this 3rd down.
Mason's run game, which is probably their strongest part of their offense, really getting nothing here, just 2 and 3 yard runs at the most so far during this game.
Adams in the shotgun with Sora to his left. He drops back to throw. He throws it to number 5, Tanner Canoe, and he is met by 2 West defenders. Number 6, Cedric Thomas is there to make the tackle. And another 3 and out here for this Comet offense.
Yeah, I guess that was a screen, a little sweeping screen out to the left on that play, but looks like a missed block there from Austin Croy. Allowed the Firebird defenders to just swarm up behind the line. And once again, we see Renaglic punting for Mason.
Canoe is quite the playmaker. He's averaging 23 yards per reception on the year. And it's a line drive punt to Thomas, and a big hit by Terrell Mazzell as he's made his presence felt on this special teams punt coverage. And Thomas had nowhere to go.
Yeah, we saw Mazzell make a play earlier on the first punt of the game, and then once again right there, just not allowing the returner to get anywhere. Still, Firebirds don't have bad field positioning, starting at the 35, starting at their own 35-yard line, and they cannot make a mistake here. They cannot get a penalty that kills their momentum, kills their drive.
Firebirds are lined up with 4 wide receivers, 3 to the wide side of the field. Horton's in the shotgun. He'll receive the snap and hand it off to Afari, and Afari is met by a bunch of Comet defenders there. Number 50, Jake Brasher, got to him first, and that was a loss of 1 for the Firebirds.
Jake Brasher's been one of the most, one of the best players on this Comet defense thus far in the season. He's their leading tackler with 30 on the season, 4th in the GMC, and he showed you right there why he should be one of the most feared players on the Comet defense.
Horton receives a snap. He rolls out to the right. He's being pursued by 57, Zaid Hamden, and he throws and it's picked off by Cole Pierce, the senior safety. And that's a huge turnover by this Firebirds offense. And they'll give the Comets great field position, but there is a flag on the field. Looks like it'll be on West as both teams go off the field here, but that's a huge pick by Cole Pierce as he was able to return it there to the Lakota West. Looks like around the 30-yard line. Like we said before, great field position to start here for the Mason Comets.
And I know Pierce is going to get credit with that interception in the books, but it really was forced by Zaid Hamden and Chase Evans there, who put the pressure on Horton, forcing him to roll out and forced him to just make a bad throw right into the hands of Pierce for his 2nd interception of the season.
4 wide receivers set here for the Comets, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Adams is in the pistol formation with Sora behind him. He'll keep the fake handoff to Sora. Adams will keep it. And a good tackle there by Cedric Thomas of the Firebirds. And a gain of 1 for Adams.
Good read there by the Firebirds on that play. They didn't really fall for the fake to Sora there and just prevented Adams from really getting any speed, any momentum going to the outside, forcing him only for a short gain.
And Adams takes the snap, hands it off to Sora, and nowhere to go for Sora once again. He has dealt with traffic in the backfield all game so far in this first quarter. And it'll be a loss of 2 or 3 here for the Comets. And now it'll be 3rd and 11 for the Comets.
This really has been unusual for the Comets. Usually, even when they're not putting up points, they're able to get at least something through the ground, either with Sora or Adams. But really, through this game, neither of them have been able to get anywhere, any break off any long runs. And once again, 3rd down, right on the edge of Charlie Sipes' field goal range, right here. So they definitely want to at least pick up some yards here, maybe make a field goal a little bit easier.
We're approaching the end of the first quarter here, 30 seconds left on the play clock. Adams receives the snap, he drops back to throw. He's looking, he is pressured by Xavier Peters, and another sack for the Kentucky Verbal Commit. And he has made his presence felt early in this ballgame with 2 sacks already on the game.
Right now, it just doesn't look like they can stop Xavier Peters at all, and that takes him completely out of field goal range to the 39, and it's 4th and long, so I'm not sure if this is 4-down territory or punt territory for the Comets.
And it'll take it to the end of the quarter. No score here in this ballgame, 0-0. As both teams head to the sideline, and it's been a highly defensive matchup here to start this game. And it's really been dictated by both teams' defensive lines. We've seen Peters for the Firebirds make some plays. We've also seen Hamden and Chase Evans make plays in the backfield as well. So it's been a heck of a defensive matchup here to start this game.
Yeah, both teams have got to been very happy with their defensive play. We've seen Cole Pierce get an interception on the Mason side, and on the Firebird side, we've seen Xavier Peters just get in the backfield for 2 sacks already in the first quarter. But offensively, neither team has been able to produce any points thus far in the game, and both teams are going to have to try to get a spark and get some momentum, and maybe that can jumpstart their offenses.
And not a lot of punting room. Not a lot of room to work here for Naglich, as he only has 40 yards of space to work with. His punt is up in the air, and Thomas will take the fair catch at around the Firebird 10-yard line. And let's see, it'll be interesting to see which offense breaks through first and who puts the first points on the board and how those teams will respond. But let's see. We saw a few drives ago that the Firebirds were able to move the ball with Afari and Horton. So it'll be interested to see how they approach this possession heading into the start of the second quarter.
Yeah, right here. This is the 3rd time that they've started inside their own 20-yard line. The Mason special teams has been nearly as important as the Mason defense in stopping the Firebirds from putting up any points. But as you said, they need a jump start. They need a spark here. They need to get something going, whether it be with Horton or Afari.
Great, Tyree Mazzell is back there on the field. Horton hands it off to Afari. And Afari's making some moves there, and he's tackled. Looks like by Chase Evans, the defensive end. It's actually number 4. Number 4, Casey Miller. And looked like Afari had room, but he tried to break it to the outside, and he got hit by behind.
Yeah, we see when Afari does try to bounce it outside, it does slow him down, allowing Miller to catch up behind him and make the tackle.
And Horton throws it out to Dylan Jones on the bubble screen as he breaks the tackle from Tyree Mazzell, and he's pushed out of bounds by number 17, Reed Naglich. And a little broken tackle there by Dylan Jones to extend the play.
Yeah, although Mazzell wasn't able to actually make the tackle, it was important there in slowing him down, preventing him from picking up the first down, and forcing a 3rd down here for the Firebirds.
3rd and 3 here for the Firebirds. Horton is all alone in the backfield. So he drops back the throw, and it's another screen pass, and pretty close to the marker. We have to wait to see what the officials rule. But that was to number 24, Cameron Webby, the senior wide receiver, and it's going to be short for the Firebirds.
Yeah, screenplay there, and great job by the Comet defense, reading it perfectly, stuffing him for only a 1 or 2 yard gain, when those screens usually are almost guaranteed to get at least 3 or 4 on the play, forcing another punt, and we are just seeing a continuance of this defensive battle so far in this game.
Jordan is lined up for the punt here for the Firebirds as he receives the punt. The punt is in the air. And a line drive punt, and Canoe will take it in stride, and he has a lot of room to run. He cuts towards the middle of the field, and he'll get tackled at the Firebird 33-yard line. And we have great field position here for the Comets to put some points here on the board.
And that was a great return there by Canoe. He just ran straight north and south, didn't try to bounce it outside, just ran it straight up the middle. There was, in fact, if you look on the replay, there was really about 8 West defenders just right in front of him and nearly no blockers, but he still managed to pick up about a 20-yard return, giving the Comets once again great field position for the 3rd time in this game. But so far they have not been able to convert it into any points.
Comets take the field in a two-backs in the backfield. And a pitch to Sora. And Sora runs through the hole, and he has wide open running room. And Matt Sora put the first points on this ball game for a 33-yard touchdown. And Matt Sora scores his 6th touchdown in this season, and a great way to respond to this Lakota West defense as they score on their first play of the drive.
Yeah, we saw him get the pitch outside, and he just beat the defender, the corner outside, and there was no one in the secondary for West. Unusual there, allowing him to just run free into the end zone for a huge, huge play, giving Mason their first points of the game here, and getting him out to a 6-point lead here. Charlie Sipe trying to make it 7. And
the kick is up, and it's good for the Comets as the Comets take a 7-0 lead on the Firebirds as they strike first. And that's what we've been kind of missing from the Comet offense, those big plays by Matt Sora. And he made a big play there on that drive.
Yeah, up until that run, really, I don't know if he had gotten any more than a 5-yard run, but there he took it for just over 30 yards into the end zone. And like I said, the Comets need a spark. I think they got one right there on that play, but now on the other side of the Firebirds are going to have to answer back. They haven't been able to get anything. Offensive end, Afari has really been shut down as of late. And let's see if they can answer back with a big play of their own.
The common theme for the Firebirds on offense has been those screen plays and then the pitch plays to Afari. So it seems like the Comets are starting to figure out the Firebirds game plan early in the second quarter. As I'm the Firebirds, I try to change up the play calling and see if they can catch the Comet defense sleeping or biting on one of those previous plays. As the kick is up and good, it's a line drive kick as it goes right by Jay Harris. And Harris is met by a swarm of Comets at their own 5-yard line, as Harris looked like he misjudged where the kick was going to bounce, and it went right behind him. He was able to pick it up, but he was only gaining 1 or 2, if that, and they'll start at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, and I know that Mason's defense has played extremely well this far, but maybe what's been their best aspect of the game has been their special teams, forcing another start inside their own 20-yard line for the Firebirds, this time down near the 5-yard line. And they're going to be backed up right near their end zone. Actually, looks like at about the 3. So once again, extremely, extremely tough circumstances here for the Firebird offense. They're not really getting any help from their kicker punt return teams thus far.
Both the Comets kickoff and punt team has done a great job containing these Firebird returners, as Horton will line up in his own end zone in the shotgun formation with Afari to his left. He'll take it and hand it off to Afari. Afari and he steps back in the end zone. Do they give him forward progress? If not, it would be a safety. As Afari kind of did a little juke step backwards into his own end zone, and the ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. That was almost a safety by Lakota West.
Yeah, I'm not sure he was thinking right on that play there. You never want to step back into your own end zone. You just want to try to dive forward for a few yards.
And it looks like it's a QB sneak with Horton, just trying to get out of their own end zone. And it looked like about a gain of 3 for the Firebirds. And it'll be about third and 7 here for Lakota West.
We're seeing this field position have a huge impact on the play calling of the Firebirds this drive. They have to be very conservative, just runs up the middle just to try to prevent Mason from getting a safety on them.
And a flag on the play.
Looked like an offsides there on Zaid Hamden or number 32, Camden Wood.
Number 57, Zaid Hamden, was the Comet player that moved early. And that'll give the Firebirds 5 extra yards, and it'll be 3rd and 3 for Lakota West as Horton takes the snap. He hands it off to Afari, and it's doesn't look like he got it. And this Comets defense once again forces a 3-and-out deep in Firebird territory.
Just looked like a busted play there. Seemed like Afari just slipped right after he got the ball, bringing him down, and it does bring up a 4th down, and Firebirds are going to be inside their 10-yard line on this punt, probably enough to punt it out of the end zone, which will give Mason great field position once again. So one of the biggest factors of this game has been field position so far. Mason has consistently been near the half-field mark or even inside Firebird territory, while Lakota West has had to start from inside their own 20 4 times already in this game.
And we have an injury on the field for the Firebirds. And it looks like offensive lineman, looks like 71 Ryan Francisco, as he's helped by Lakota West medical team there as he limps off to the sideline. Looks like not too serious of an injury, but maybe we'll see an update here later on in the game. But Firebirds would have to punt deep in their own territory once again. Seems to be like a common theme to start this game, as it's 8:36 left here in the second quarter. 7-0 Comets here as Sora scored the first points of the game on a 33-yard touchdown run. But we got a highly defensive matchup here to start this game. And as Jordt receives the punt, a high punt, and Canoe misjudges it, but he didn't touch it, and the Lakota West Firebirds were down at midfield. And the Comets will start this drive at the 50-yard line, and there's a flag on the field.
Let's see what this flag is for, but it did look like there was a miscommunication between Dardis and Canoe. It's going to be holding on Mason, putting them back into their own territory right now. But lucky for the Firebirds that Canoe didn't get that return, because we saw in the previous one he got about 20 yards out of nothing, really. So Mason still in their own territory at their 42, but still not bad field position for them. And let's see if they can carry that momentum. They scored on the first play last drive. Let's see if they can carry that momentum forward into this drive right here.
And that was really the first time last possession that Comets had a big play, big impact play there. The 33-yard run to Sora. They had a slant to begin the game to Croy, but that was really their biggest play up till then. Adams throws it to a wide open Christian Hutchinson, and he has a wide open field in front of him, and he's caught from behind down at the Lakota West 16-yard line. And what a play by Hutchinson, who scored his first touchdown in last week's matchup against Hamilton.
Yeah, Mason's really keying in on the West defensive secondary, who's playing up close. We saw Sora swing out to the left, which drew 3 defenders forward, allowed Hutchinson to get behind the defense and pick up that big gain.
And hand off to Sora, and he makes a nice move inside, breaks a tackle, and he is down at the 6-yard line, and he brought a couple of Firebirds with him, and that was a great run there by Sora.
Sora starting to pick up some steam off that touchdown, gets a good run there, bring them inside the 10-yard line, and a second is short.
And hand off to Sora once again, able to find some holes, and he'll be about a 3-yard gain for Sora. And it really looks like Sora is gaining his rhythm here, as the offense looks like they're doing a no huddle, but looks like we have another Lakota West injury.
Yeah, what's so good about Sora as a runner is he's able to almost kind of turn his body sideways and just slip through the tiniest of gaps there, even though that was only a 3 or 4 yard run. Still managed to pick up the first down when there really was nothing on that play. And now let's see if West here can get a goal line stand backed up at their own 4-yard line.
And number 12 for the Firebirds, David Jones, is the injured Firebird. And both teams on the sidelines looking over the game plan. And if you're the Comets here, Jake, what's your plan of attack here in the red zone to get some points on the board?
I think since you are at the 4-yard line right now, and Sora's shown that he's been effective on these last few runs. I think you got to give it to him on maybe even these first 2 plays right now. Maybe even fake it to him and take it with Adams, but I wouldn't risk a pass here so close to your end zone with how effective this run has been as of late.
And Jones is able to walk to his sideline under his own power as both teams take the field here. And we have three runners in the backfield for the Comets. Adams is in the shotgun. He receives the snaps, and it's another handoff to Sora, and he runs to the outside pylon, and Sora will score his second touchdown of this game. And it'll be a touchdown Comets, giving the Comets a 13-0 lead here in the second quarter.
Great vision there by Sora. Comets lined up with no receivers out wide, which forced all the West defenders really to pack it inside the box, right close together, and Sora was just able to bounce it outside.
And the Comets were lined up in the swinging gate formation for the extra point. They like to do that to catch teams off guard. And it looks like it might have been an illegal formation or maybe a false start, but that would back the Comets up even further, and it looks like they'll kick the extra point here instead. Yeah,
it looked like Canoe there was going to actually try to run it in for the 2-point conversion. I know last game against Hamilton, they did convert one of those, caught Hamilton off guard here, but now at the 8-yard line, too dangerous to go for 2.
And that last week against Hamilton was the first time they actually used that swinging gate. They used it a lot last year, but they waited for the Hamilton game to actually use it this year, as Sipes' kick is good. And it's 14-0 here, Comets, with 7:32 left here in the first half. And it's been all Matt Sora here for this Comet offense, as he scored 2 touchdowns early in the first half.
Yeah, he's really been able to bounce back from that slow start. Has picked it up here in the second quarter. What West needs to do here, just even on this kickoff, is just give your team some good field position. You can't get backed up inside your 20, inside your 10 once again. Look, the offense hasn't shown they have been capable to go 80 yards for a touchdown. So just try to get a good return here. Try to give your offense a chance.
See if Harris and Thomas can provide a big spark here for the Firebirds, as they're see if they can get a return here. But I mean, Sipe has been kicking these line drive. They can have a lot of awkward bounces, but the kick is up, and it's a big one here. And Thomas kind of slips here when he receives the kickoff, and he's running and nowhere to go once again. And this Comet kickoff team has been exceptional in this first half, and the Firebirds will take this possession at around maybe the 15-yard line.
Yeah, we saw the previous one, it was a bobble on the return. That one there wasn't the returner's fault at all. He just caught it, and not really much blocking by the special teams for West, and there was about 5 Comet defenders converging on him, not allowing him to get even to the 20-yard line. So once again, bad field position here for the Firebirds, and already a penalty.
Looks like maybe they had 12 players on the field as the Firebirds trying to run to the sideline, and that'll back up the Firebirds even further, giving them even worse field position. They'll back up to around the 10-yard line, and they'll have a 1st and 15 to overcome.
Just nothing seems to be going right here for the Firebirds. We saw them get 2 pretty good runs earlier, but other than that, nothing from their offense.
We mentioned pregame that they had trouble with penalties, and David Afari has some running room, and he's brought down by Jalen Johnson. He was able to gain about 21 there.
Yeah, even with that long gain, though, this field position is really killing them. They still are only at the 31-yard line, so this could be the starting position of an average drive.
And another bubble swing here for the Firebirds, number 14, Dylan Jones. And not much doing there for the Firebirds, and that's a gain of 1, maybe 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Firebirds.
We've just seen the Firebirds be completely ineffective through the air, only really running screens and not able to pick up much at all. The only success they've had at all is a few nice runs by Afari.
Horton receives the snap and hands it off to Afari, and able to break the initial tackle from the Comet defense, but there were about 4 or 5 Comets there in the backfield. Got in the way of Afari. Number 57, Zaid Hamden, the GMC's leading sack player, was able to make that tackle.
Yeah, and if I'm Afari, I'm telling my offensive line, give me somewhere to run. If you saw in the replay, Hamden just instantly, as Afari got the ball, was right there and didn't allow Afari to even get back to the line of scrimmage.
And we've seen in this game, if Afari has room to run, he's able to make some special plays and break some tackles. He just hasn't had the running room. And a throw out to Afari in the flats as he runs towards the sideline, and he'll be pushed out at the 35-yard line. It'll be about 4th and 5 for the Firebirds.
Didn't even look like Horton there really looked at all his receivers. He kind of just took one look, only at one route, and then decided to check it down to Afari, which is usually not going to get you the 10 or 11 yards that they needed there. And once again, another punt. We haven't seen anything from the West offense, and it's continued on this drive.
And Jordan will receive the snap, and the punt is up. Pretty high punt, as Canoe will call for the fair catch at around the 33-yard line. And with 5:50 left here in the second quarter, we're getting near the halftime break. And let's see if the Comets have in store here to extend their lead to 3 possessions.
We've seen the Comets score when they're given good field position. Here, though, they're inside their own 30. Let's see if they can take it the length of the field and turn it into some points. They have the momentum. Sora's been running downhill, picking up nice gains, 2 touchdowns already, and know they're going to want to keep feeding it to him.
Adams awaiting the call from the sidelines. He receives the snap, drops back the throw. He throws it to a wide open, looks like Jack Lenzik. And that's a gain of about maybe 10 there, and that'll be a first down for the Comets. Actually, that's number 18, Alec Dardis.
Yeah, we saw the effect of the effectiveness of the run game there as the defense collapsed on Sora and only really left 3 or 4 West defenders out to cover the Comets receivers, giving Dardis a wide open catch and run.
And that looked like to be Adams' first read there on that play, and he was wide open. And as Will Adams is yelling out signals before the play, he drops back the throw, surveying his options. Nothing doing there. He's scrambling to the left side of the field, and he'll keep it, and he'll get to around the 50-yard line for a gain of about 7 or 8 yards on the play. That was a nice show of mobility there for Will Adams.
Yeah, that play was really an example of what we see when West drops a lot of defenders back in coverage. They only had 4 there on the rush, and it allowed Adams to just stay in the pocket for a while. Didn't see anybody and was able to scramble and pick up a nice gain.
That was an impressive display of blocking by this Comet offensive line as he gave Adams at least 6 or 7 seconds there in the back in the pocket. And as a play action to Sora, he hands it out to passes out to Dardis once again, and that'll be enough for the first down as he's tackled at the Lakota West 45-yard line.
Pretty much the same route that we saw earlier, just to the opposite side of the field from Dardis there in the defensive backs. It was safety number 28 who was trying to, Mason Truman there trying to cover him, but he can't close up the large gap fast enough when Dardis does those short out routes.
Adams takes the snap, and it's a play action to Sora. He decides to keep it, and about a 6-yard gain for Adams as he chose to keep it on the read option. And it'll be 2nd and 4 here for the Comets.
Truman there made possibly a touchdown saving tackle. West completely crowded the line. Truman was the only one back, and Adams was able to break through the front line, but was stopped by Truman with a good, as I said, possibly touchdown saving tackle.
And a pitch to Sora. He cuts inside, and he keeps his feet moving. He is moving a pile of Comet, and he's still moving his feet. He was able to get out of that pile somehow, and that'll be a first down for the Comets. Great run there by Sora as he kept his feet moving.
That's all Matt Soar there. He was really first swelled up right around the line of scrimmage, and he just was able to push forward with 5 West defenders surrounding him and pick up the first down there. Great show of toughness from Soar on that play.
And that's something we've been accustomed to seeing throughout his career here at Mason. As Adams receives the snap, he rolls out to the left, surveying his options. He throws it. Looks like it's, again, the Dardis. As he breaks another tackle, and he's pushed out the line of scrimmage at the West 13-yard line. Looks like he was hit after he went out of bounds.
I believe that late hit is on Mason Truman, number 28. And once again, that out route by Dardis, it's been effective this drive. 3 times he's caught it, and there he was able to pick up a nice run afterwards, putting the Comets into the red zone.
It looked like the penalty was actually number 97, Jake Kiefer, the defensive lineman. And that out route by Dardis seems to be giving this Lakota West defense headaches as they're trying to figure out how to cover it. And Dardis has had 3 catches here on this drive where he's been able to have a lot of running room after the catch. And Sora receives the handoff from Adams. But nothing really doing there, about a gain of 1, if that.
Yeah, Mason's going to want to run down some time on this this goal line here. They don't want to give the Firebirds they want to give the Firebirds as little time as possible to try to make a drive at the end of the half. But they're going to want to punch this in for a touchdown here to try to take a 20-point lead.
2:36 left in the first half as Adams is in shotgun, and there's a flag on the penalty. It'll be a false start on the Comets.
That's big. That changes the play calls here, going from a second and goal from the 6 to now a second and goal from the 12. So you might see a pass here from the Comets. I know we've seen the out route be successful on that drive. I'm sure West is going to be keying in on that on this play.
And the Comets have been doing pretty well on the penalty side of things, as it's been the Firebirds have been having trouble with the penalties. But the false start, we're moving back further, and Adams will receive the snap. He rolls out to the right, surveying his options. He looks back to the opposite side of the field and underthrows his man, Matt Soar. Matt Soar had running room to the left side of the field, but it looks like Adams didn't put enough throwing power on that pass as the ball kind of bounced on the turf before it got to Sora.
Yeah, Adams rolled out to the right. Sora started to block at the beginning of play and wasn't really covered at all by anyone when he came out of the backfield. Just a short throw there by Adams. Sora could have added some space if he had been able to make that catch.
And Adams will take the snap. He rolls out right, looking for his options. He throws it to the end zone and over the head of Tanner Canoe. It'll be an incomplete pass.
Yeah, the pressure was coming in there on Adams, and he just had to throw it where only his receiver had a chance to get it, leading to an incompletion there. Bring up a 4th down with 2 minutes to go in this quarter, and they're going to bring out Sipe for the field goal.
And Sipe on the year is 2 of 4. His only 2 misses have been blocked kicks. So let's see what Sipe does here on this field goal. And the snap is up, and the kick is up. And the kick is through the upper, and it's no good. And that will be Sipe's 3rd miss on the year, as the missed field goal attempt keeps keeps this lead at 2 possessions. And let's see what the Lakota West offense has planned here before this end of the first half.
Like that field goal went just off to the right side of the uprights, and that's a missed opportunity there from Mason, having it 1st and goal at the 4-yard line and being unable to convert it into any points. Good stand by the defense though, and let's see if the offense can maybe take some of that energy and put it into this drive and get a score before halftime.
1:56 left here in the first half. Horton drops back the throw. And looks like got a screen play called for Afari. Afari cuts inside. He has running room to the left side of the field, and he's tackled. That looks like number 6, Terrell Merzell. And that was about a 30-yard gain there for David Afari, as the Firebirds are down at the 40-yard line.
Beautiful screenplay there, run by the Comets. We saw number 50, or run by West rather. Afari was able to pick up the long gain.
And Horton throws a quick pass to the sidelines to number 17, Jordan Harris. And looks like he was able to get out of bounds. And it'll be 2nd and 5 for the Firebirds.
Finally, we're seeing some success with West through the air. Nothing up until this drive, and but still, they're going to need to get some longer gains here. They only have 1:32 to go to try to get down and get some points here. They don't want to get a touchdown on this drive. Not looking to settle for a field goal. So let's see if they can do a little bit more than screens and quick passes. Maybe a few throws downfield.
And it looks like on this drive, the Firebirds are doing a no huddle, and it's giving them a rhythm on offense, something we really haven't seen so far in this game. And they're giving it the ball to Afari in space and allowing him to make some moves. And he's had a lot of open running room from that screen pass. And it'll be interesting to see how the Firebirds give the ball to Afari in open space and kind of watch him run and see what he can do. But they've done a great job here establishing a rhythm here on this drive to end the half. And Horton will receive the snap. He drops back to throw, surveying the field. He'll decide to run it, and he has open running room to the right side of the field, being pursued by Jake Brasher, and he'd be tackled at the Mason Comet 43-yard line. And we mentioned pregame that Horton's rushing ability should be accounted for, as he likes to run the ball, and we showed there on that play, and that first down for the Firebirds. And Horton drops back to throw another screen pass to Jones. And Jones here has some running room, and he is tackled at the Mason 25-yard line. Looks like by Jake Brasher once again. And the Firebirds are having the rhythm here.
Firebirds still have 2 timeouts here, so they can take their time now inside the 25-yard line and try to convert this drive, which has been very successful so far. Easily their best drive of the game into a touchdown.
The clock stops as the chains move. As Horton drops back to throw. He's throwing, he's rushing the right side, and he's tripped up on the play. Zaid Hamden brings him down. And that's a huge play here in response to this Lakota West offense. Great play there by the Comet defense and Zaid Hamden.
Good combo effort there by the defense of Mason. Hamden got in behind him, forcing Horton to step up forward where Miller was right in front of him, and Hamden was able to come in from behind and pick up the sack, forcing West to burn one of their timeouts. They only have 1 left and now are facing a 2nd and long at their 31. What do you think they need to do here?
Well, they got to gain at least 15, 20 yards to get into Harrison Jort's field goal kicking range. His longest is only 31 yards, so he hasn't really been tested up to this point in the season. So if I'm Lakota West, if I have any confidence in Jort making a field goal here, we got to get to around the 10, maybe 15-yard line. But I mean, I bet they have their sights here on the end zone. I would try to get the ball to Afari in space and give him some running room, because he's been effective once he's had space to do some moves. But let's see what they have planned here. Horton gets it back, and it's a quick slant and a great catch there by number 17, Jordan Harris, as he went up the ladder to get that ball.
Yeah, great show of athleticism there by Harris. And did not pick up the first down, so the clock is still going to be ticking here.
As Horton drops back to throw, another quick pass, and it's a ball to the end zone, and it's too far towards the sidelines. It'll be an incomplete pass. 23 seconds left on the play clock, as they gave it a chance, a jump ball opportunity for Harris, but the ball was too far out of bounds.
4th down here. Let's see if they leave their offense on the field. No, they're going to take out the kicking team here. Disappointing for the Firebirds that they're not able to convert this drive into a touchdown. And let's see if he can even make this field goal, which would be his longest of the year, 33 yards.
And Jort in the Comet field goal kicking team is on formation. There'll be a time, and Coach Kastner will call a timeout for the Mason Comets after seeing the setup by West, and that's the Comets' first timeout called here in this first half. And maybe Kastner saw something on the field goal try, but that'll be the Comets' first timeout here in this first half.
Really the first drive that we've seen West get anything going here. They mostly through the passing game actually on this drive, and unfortunately not able to get a touchdown here. That's got to be worrisome because we don't know if West is going to be able to have another one of these drives. They've certainly shown that this drive has been an anomaly thus far in this game. So touchdown would have been huge, but these 3 points are still very important.
Jordt lined up for the kick. Hold this down. The kick is up. And no good for the Firebirds. And there's still a 0 on the scoreboard for Lakota West as their offense continues to struggle here to put up points on the board. And that's a huge momentum shift for the Firebirds as they miss a field goal after having their best drive in this game.
2 straight drives from both teams. We saw Mason get inside, not able to pick up any points, and then we saw the Firebirds there get down into the red zone, also not able to get any points on the scoreboard, and that's a huge blow for the Firebirds going into half. Still down 14, still being shut out. They've definitely got to pick it up in the second half.
And Will Adams will take a knee here to end this first half. The Comets are up 14-0 in this ball game. We saw 2 impressive touchdown plays by Matt Sora to give the Comets a 14-0 lead. And we'll go ahead to the halftime break. 14-0 Comets here at Dwyer Field.
bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Your bed. Find stuff.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Please have a seat. I'll be honest. Your resume, not what I'm used to.
I know.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need a hard worker.
Good. I've got 2 part-time jobs and to help my parents pay the bills.
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find, cultivate, and train a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Here at Dwyer Field, the Mason Comets had a 14-0 lead in the first half on the feet of Matt Sora, as he had 2 rushing touchdowns in the first half. And it was been a defensive matchup throughout the game, as both teams were able to force 3 and outs on multiple occasions. And it's been every yard has been earned in this game. And we are live here from Dwyer Field after the halftime break. And we have another exciting half of football here between the Comets and Firebirds. And we saw in the first half from the Firebirds, they had a lot of penalties and weren't able to execute on 3rd down. If they want to beat the Comets here at their home turf, they got to fix those errors, and they got to make sure they start off the second half with some momentum here as they receive the ball to begin the second half.
Yeah, the first quarter really started off slow offensively for both teams. No points scored in that first quarter, but in the second quarter, it was a different story, at least for Mason it was. 2 touchdowns, as you said, by Sora. They really were able to move up and down the field in that second quarter, while West wasn't able to get much, and when they finally did move the ball, finally got in the red zone on the final possession of the drive, they weren't able to convert it into any points. So in the second half, they're going to have to start off strong. They're going to have to move the ball like they did on that last drive, but they're going to have to get some touchdowns.
And we saw there the end of the first half, Lakota West moving the ball downfield, and they got to around the Comets' maybe 20-yard line, and they were able to attempt a 33-yard field goal, but George was able to, didn't have enough leg to get it there, and the Lakota West came away empty-handed. So we saw at the end of the first half, the Firebirds have the ability to move it downfield when they get a rhythm and when Afari gets running room in space. But I mean, for the vast majority of the game, it's been all Comets on the defensive side of the ball giving them headaches. And if I'm the Firebirds, I got to focus on patching up the penalties and giving the ball to your playmaker, David Afari, the second leading GMC rusher. And if I'm the Comets, I keep stuffing it to Sora and establish a rhythm here and keep that clock moving. And let's see if the Comets are able to keep their foot on the throttle in this second half, but they'll kick it off here to begin this second half.
One of the maybe overlooked storylines of this game has been the field position. West has just gotten, their offense has just gotten awful field position on nearly every drive, starting from inside close to their own end zone on multiple occasions, while the Comets have had a few drives where they've actually started in Firebird territory, and West has not been that fortunate. So this special team's actually playing a big part in this game, and I know on this kickoff here to start the second half, West is going to have to make sure that they don't back up their offense inside their own 20-yard line. Try to bring it out at least past the 25. Give your offense a chance to drive it down the field and put some points on the board for the first time in this game.
And both teams are on the field to begin this second half. Both teams excited to start this second half. It'll be Charles Sipe to kick it off here for the Comets. And both student sections are on their feet, making a lot of noise. And Sipe's kick is up, and it'll be returned by, looks like, number 2, Harris. And nothing doing there for the Lakota West Firebirds as they're returned about the 26-yard line, and both teams decide to take the field.
Very average return there. At least he didn't get backed up or tackled towards his own end zone. But here for the Firebirds, they saw some effectiveness mostly through the air, actually, on that last drive of the second half, or first half rather, second quarter. And I know they're going to look to give the ball to Afari, whether it be on a screen, run to the outside, and try to give him some open space, because we know he can make a few moves and maybe even break off a big run when he gets some open space.
Horton in the shotgun. Afari to his right. He receives the snap and hands it off to Afari. Afari has some running room in the middle of the field, and he's tackled by number 8, Tyree Mazzell. And they're scrambling for the football. Afari may have lost it at the end of the play. We're waiting on a ruling, and the refs and their officials are going to rule him down by contact. And that's a huge first down there by Afari in this Lakota West offense.
Yeah, that's really the third time that we've seen Afari break off a 20-yard or so run on the first play of a West drive. And as I said, when he gets space, he can make plays.
And another handoff to Afari as he keeps his feet moving. About a gain of 4 for the running back, Afari. And the ball will be down at midfield at the 50-yard line. And it'll be 2nd and 7 here for the Firebirds.
Only a gain of about 2 or 3 there, as the Comets did shore up their defense on that play.
Horton throws it to the tight end. Alex Bunton. And that's about a gain of 15 on the play, and it'll be another first down for Lakota West. So Lakota West is finding some success here on offense to start this game, as they've had 2 first downs to begin the half. And Horton will receive the snap once again and hand it off to Afari, and Afari has running room and a nice stiff arm there, but it looks like number 19, Nigro, is able to bring him down, and it'll be another first down here for the Firebirds.
Yeah, when Afari, we've seen him, some of his most effective runs has been really out the middle, finds a hole and just bursts through it. He has great acceleration, great speed, and is able to pick up some nice gains when he has some room.
And a handoff to Afari, and he's met at the line of scrimmage. Not a huge gain there for the Firebirds. Maybe about a gain of 1, if that. And the Comet defensive line was able to stop Afari before he got into some open running room.
Yeah, on this drive, West hasn't really been in many tough situations. They haven't had to face a 3rd and long yet. So a stop for a short gain or even a loss here by the Comets could put a lot of pressure on this offense to pick up a first down.
Senior Reed Naglish on the tackle. It's another handoff to Afari and a nice juke move to the outside. And he's tackled at the 15-yard line. And it's been a common theme here for Afari to try to jump it to the outside. But this Comet secondary and linebacking group has done a good job containing him in the middle of the field.
Yeah, that was pretty much the same play that was ran 2 plays previously, where Afari just in the shotgun gets the handoff up the middle, and really the linebackers have not been able to stop him thus far. He's consistently been able to get into the secondary and beyond on this drive.
First and 10 at the Comet 15-yard line, 9:36 left in this game. And Horton will receive the snap and have another handoff to Afari, a stiff arm in the backfield, and nowhere to go for Afari, as that's a loss of maybe 2 or 3 in the tackle there by Cole Pierce in the backfield.
It's always tough to go to the short side of the field on those outside runs. He didn't have a lot of space there. He couldn't quite get the edge when you are so close to that sideline, like in that case. And great job by the Mason defense, forcing him inside and making the tackle behind the line.
4 wide receiver set here for the Firebirds. 3 to the wide side of the field, 1 to the short side. And Horton will keep it himself. He still has the ball. He floats it up in the end zone. And no good, incomplete pass. Attempt to bunt in the tight end there. But looked like Horton was going to run it initially, but then he rolled it out to the left side of the field and tried to float it up to his tight end, but he threw it too far out of bounds. And it'll be an incomplete pass.
Just a weird play there by Horton. Mazzell, who was on the coverage there, and Hunton came in because it really looked like Horton was going to run it there. He had the ball tucked in and everything, but he did pull out and could not quite hit his man who was open in the end zone.
Big 3rd and long here for the Firebirds at the Comet 18-yard line. Horton drops back to throw. He is rushed, and it's another screen play to Afari, but Afari couldn't reel in the pass. It's a drop, and it'll be 4th down for Lakota West.
That drop might have been better than making that catch for Afari, as Camden Wood was bearing down on him on that screenplay. And once again, a drive stalls once the Firebirds get into the red zone. Another kick, this one from even further than his previous, which he missed. Let's see if he's able to convert this one into some points finally.
Jordan missed his first attempt here in the first half. The play clock is running down. See if they get the snap off, and they end up doing so. And the Comet field goal team was able to get in the way of that snap, as Jordan wasn't even able to kick the ball, and it's a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. It looks like maybe either the bobble on the snap, or they just couldn't even get the kick off, but it's a turnover on downs here for the Lakota West Firebirds.
Yeah, we saw the effects of undisciplined play on that 4th down right there. They struggled to get all their men on the field and only really had 7 seconds to line up and get the field goal, and it looked like a bobbled snap and a miss.
Adams drops back to throw. He rolls out to the right side of the field. He has some running room in front of him. And he decides to throw it, and looks like incomplete pass. The pass was intended to number 9, Austin Croy. And it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Comets.
I believe that was actually Tanner Canoe there on the near reception. He caught the ball, just couldn't get his feet quite in bounds. Good play, though, by Adams to extend the play to the outside and avoid a sack, even though it did result in an incompletion.
Adams was able to shrug off the tackle by Peters there to extend the play. And it'll be 2nd 10 as he's in the shotgun formation. Knapp to his left, Sora behind him. It's a pitch to Sora to the short side of the field, and nothing really doing there for the Comets there. It's a gain of 3 for the Comets. Matt Sora really didn't have a lot of room to run on that play.
Yeah, we saw for the Firebirds at least, they had a pitch on this previous drive to the short side of the field, and once again a pitch there to the short side of the field, this time to Sora. And when you do go with a pitch to the side of the field where you're going to be close to out of bounds, you're not going to have a lot of space, and it showed there. Sora wasn't able to find much room to gain anything.
3rd and 8 for the Comets. Adams drops back to throw. He's scrambling to the right side. He throws it out to Sora. Sora has running room, makes a move, and he's still on his feet. He's running to the opposite sideline, and a big block there by Austin Croy to flag him. Maybe it was a block in the back, but Sora had a nice running room as that block gave him some extra room to run, and it looks like this play might be called back. Well, there's a block in the back, looks like by number 9, Austin Croy. That was a huge block there by Croy to give Sora some running room.
Yeah, we can see it here on the replay. Yeah, they're number 6 of the Firebirds. Cedric Thomas just didn't see Croy coming at all, and I guess the refs are going to rule that it was a block in the back, taking back what was a very good catch and run there by Sora, bringing it back to about a 3rd and 4, unfortunately, but a massive hit there by Croy that did result in a penalty.
And the penalty was called from the spot of the foul, so it'll be 3rd and 5 here for the Comets, as there's 2 wide receivers to the wide side of the field as the Comets set up their offense. Adams is in the shotgun. Sora to his right. He drops back to throw. He's surveying his options. There's a lot of time to throw. He throws out to Sora on the screenplay, and there's another flag thrown on the field. If the play holds, it'll be a 1st down for the Comets.
It's going to be on the offense, it looks like. Mason, 2 straight penalties preventing 1st downs on consecutive plays there. Mistakes right here from the Comet offense, slowing them down right now. Really just slowing the pace of the game as they've had to repeat this 3rd down for the 3rd time now even further, 3rd and 10. So this is just costly mistakes that are costing them 1st downs.
And you said it, consecutive penalties have gotten rid of 2 1st downs by this Comet offense, as it'll be 3rd and 10 after the result of the previous penalty. And Adams is awaiting the snap from the center, Buzz Krogan. And you see that he drops back to throw, staying in the pocket. Plenty of time to throw. He throws it up, and the catch is made, looks like by Alec Dardis, and that will be enough for the 1st down, as Dardis had to come back for that football, as it was a little bit underthrown by Adams, but Dardis was able to make an impressive catch there.
Yeah, was a little underthrown, but still a nice throw by Adams, able to fit it over the 2 defensive backs in front of Dardis and in front of the one who was in coverage behind him, and he was able to make a nice catch, picking up the 1st down. Great play there by Adams and Dardis.
And Adams here waiting the snap. Almost 10 yards of off coverage by the Dakota West secondary on Croy, and there's a pitch to Sora, the short side of the field. And Sora had a decent amount of running room there. Good blocking by this Comet offensive line. He was able to gain about 5 or 6 yards there on that play. Great running play there on 1st down by the Comets.
Yeah, sometimes you don't even need to. You don't even need a burst of speed. Sora was just able to take it slow, find the holes and follow his offensive line there, and it was successful at picking up a nice 5-yard gain, setting up a easy 2nd and 5.
And junior wide receiver Nick Niehoff has checked into the game. Adams rolls out to the left, and Adams will throw it to Niehoff, and an underthrown ball. Niehoff looked like he beat his man downfield, but it looked like Adams underthrew it just a little bit, and it looked like Thomas was able to get his hand on there, because there's a flag on the field.
It's going to go against Mason once again, so that's a 3rd penalty already on this drive, in which, and it's really hurt the Comet offense, taking them back on forcing 2nd and longs and 3rd and longs. Niehoff was open on that play, though. He did have the defender beat. It just throws a little bit out of his reach by Adams.
So a waiting call by the officials, and it will be on the Comets as they back up 5 yards on this play, and it'll be a 2nd and 9 instead of a 2nd and 4. And we're seeing penalties stall these big plays the Comets are having in this drive. And the Comets are only shooting themselves in the foot here in the 2nd half.
Yeah, I felt like this drive has gone on for a while, and they've only really gone about 20 yards total.
Adams in the shotgun. He takes the snap from Krogan, and it's a play action. He throws it out to Sora in the flats. And Sora was able to break a tackle and gain a few yards there. An impressive move there by Matt Sora as he cuts towards the middle of the field. And it's about a 3-yard catch there by Sora.
So pretty much gets just about to where they were prior to the penalty, but now a 3rd down on the play here. And the Comets are going with 4 wide receivers now, spreading out the Fairfield defense. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to maybe go with a draw play here, catch him off guard.
You saw in that replay of that violent stiff arm by Matt Sora as he was able to gain a few more yards. Adams rolls out to the left, and it throws it out to Dardis, and that'll be enough for a Comet 1st down. And Dardis has made a living in this game catching those out routes, as the Dakota West defense doesn't seem to have a solution for it. And that'll be a 1st down once again for the Comets.
Yeah, he's just been able to find space, and I believe he's had 5 catches this game. That's more than his total up. He's only had 4 up to this game on the whole season.
And a handoff to Sora up the middle, and nothing doing there for Sora. About a gain of 2 or 3, tackled by number 91, Tyler Bentley.
They decided to switch it up there, going on the pass on the previous 3rd down run there. But Firebirds were just able to swallow it up for a short gain here. And Dart is coming back in, still with 4 receivers though, so we're still seeing the Comets trying to force the Firebirds to cover all the receivers.
Adams takes the snap, takes the halfback draw to Sora, and Sora is met at the line of scrimmage. Nothing really doing there for Sora in this offense, and it'll be 3rd down for Mason.
Yeah, the thing with the halfback draw is it works if the linebackers drop back in coverage, because then the running back's able to run it up the middle and find some space. But it looked like right there, one of the Fairfield linebackers was just sitting, waiting for Sora.
Adams rolls out to the right, the wide side of the field. He throws it to, looks like number 9, Austin Croy. And that's close to the 1st down marker. Let's see if it was enough for the 1st down. And it will be. The change will be moving. And that's a 1st down for the Comets.
Good play there to roll out. And these out routes, once again, we're seeing them be very successful. The Comets picking up multiple 1st downs throughout the game on the same route. And Fairfield's just had, the Firebirds have just had no answer for it.
Hand off to Sora. He kind of stumbles but regains his feet. And he was able to get a rush up the middle for about a gain of 3 yards. And looks like
some immediate flag right as the play was snapped there on Mason.
It looked like the Comets moved early at the start of that play. And that'll be a false start penalty.
So uncharacteristic for the Comets to have this many penalties on just one drive. They're usually a disciplined team that, as I said, doesn't make a lot of penalties, and it's just been completely the opposite here, and their drive has kind of just been slowed down. They could easily be in the red zone, I believe, without these penalties on this drive.
And this has been a long drive for Mason as they receive the ball like around the 9 or 10 minute marker in this third quarter, and drive continues to go here. And Adams throws it up to Dardis once again, as that's a gain of 4 or 5 there for the Comets.
Yeah, West is playing some zone coverage right here, and that's just allowing receivers like Dardis to kind of sit in the spots between the two zones and find some open space, and Adams is doing a good job going through his progressions and finding the open receivers.
Adams in the shotgun with Sora to his right, to call in the hard count, try to get the West to jump off sides. He's pressured there, and he throws it to Sora. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage, it looked like, and Sora loses his feet as he had running room right in front of him. But that would be enough for the first down on the halfback screen. That was a very good executed play by this Comet offense.
Yeah, unfortunate for West that they decided to go with the blitz on that play. They brought about 7 players in on Adams, but Comets had the perfect play call going with a screen, and Sora had a lot of running room with blockers in front of him, able to pick up a nice gain, get him to about the 20.
And the Comets are at the Lakota West 20-yard line. They just entered the red zone, and it's a handoff to Sora, and looks actually number 22, Connor Gary. He was able to break a few tackles there, and the senior Connor Gary scores a touchdown. He had to extend the lead to 20 points here, and that was an impressive run there by Connor Gary as he broke multiple tackles on that play.
Yeah, I know. The one thing I've noticed about Gary is, look at this. He gets the ball. He's already full speed running north and south, and West just didn't have enough time to react. He burst through the hole and ran basically straight forward for the touchdown.
Great run there by Gary as the PAT team comes in for the Comets. Sipe awaiting the snap. And the snap is up, the kick is up, and it's good for the Comets. And it'll be a 21-0 Mason Comet lead with 3:06 left here in this third quarter. And despite the penalties on that drive, the Comets were able to still find points and find the end zone.
Yeah, West just unable to stop the Comets. They were giving tons of chances, third down situations, the defense was, and they were not able to stop the Comets, and that's huge because the offense hasn't, we've seen, they haven't been able to convert good drives into touchdowns. The last 2 drives they've had, they've gotten down in the red zone and have settled for field goals, and they've actually missed both those field goals. So being down 21-0, this is a tough position. They need some type of points on this drive in order to get back in the game a little bit.
And it looks like this Lakota West offense is beginning to figure things out here in the second half and towards the end of that in the first half. As they're able to move the ball, they're just unable to get the points as they've missed 2 field goals, and they were unable to convert key third downs. As they're trying to put up some touchdowns here in this 3-possession lead. They're starting to run out of time with 3:06 left in the third quarter. So it'll be interesting to see if Lakota West decides to push the tempo here in this next offensive possession. And Sipe's kick is up in the air, a pooch kick here that landed about the 20-yard line. And this Comets field team will tackle Lakota West there at around the 25-yard line. And that's where Lakota West will begin this drive here.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that last touchdown by Gary was actually his first of the season. He's been averaging over 5 yards per carry, but hadn't found the end zone until there. And we saw his ability with the nice run, putting the Comets up 21. And now the Firebirds here are going to need an answer. They're going to need to move down the field and put the ball in the end zone.
And with all the Comet playmakers on offense for Mason, it's been hard for Gary to kind of get in there with Sora and Dalton carrying the ball. But he finally had his chance there, and he made the most of it on that 20-yard touchdown run. But the run to Afari there was only a gain of 1, if that. And it'll be a second and a long 9 for the Firebirds.
Good job by Evans just getting in the backfield quickly. Came around unblocked and swallowed up Afari.
Horton will decide to keep it, and he has made a guy miss there, but he was tackled by number 31, Ben White, the linebacker.
Yeah, we're seeing these Comet defenders get in the backfield quickly, which when Nafari or Horton does try to scramble out, scamper forward, these Comet defenders are sneaking up behind them and making tackles, just preventing the Firebirds from really getting any long gains.
3rd and 5 here for Lakota West with 2 minutes left here in this 3rd quarter. Horton throws it out to Afari. Afari makes a guy miss, but he'll be short of the 1st down, about a gain of 1 or 2 on the play, if that. And it'll be 4th and 4 here for Lakota West.
Interesting to see if they're going to leave the offense on the field with so little time left, but it does look like they are going to bring the punt team out. Only 1:40 now and counting left in the 3rd quarter, so interesting to see that West is going to decide to punt with so little time left and still down 21 points.
Jordan will receive the punt, and the ball is high in the air, and Canoe will field the kick as he made a guy miss, but he is met by a lot of Lakota West Firebirds as he had a minimal gain on that return. And the Comets will start this drive on their own 25-yard line. And let's see if the Comets go back to that short pass and run style play from their last drive. And that proved to drain a lot of clock. And with the game where it is right now, with the lead that they have, I would think that's the approach that Caston would go with this drive.
Yeah, this is huge here for the Lakota West defense. I'm not liking their chances right now, but if they allow another touchdown going down 28-0 with heading into the 4th, I'm definitely not liking their chances even more, so they need to get a stop here.
Adams in the shotgun with Sora to his left, 2 wide receivers to the right, Canoe to the left, and it'll be a handoff to, looks like it's Gary once again, and Gary has some more running room, and that'll be enough for the 1st down. Connor Gary showing some great vision there, getting to the outside, and he'll move the chains for Mason.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that the Comets do have a lot of playmakers on offense, especially in the running game with Adams and Sora, and Gary hasn't been able to get a ton of touches this season, but he's showing us that when he does get the ball, he has the ability to break off some big runs. 2 in a row for him right there.
We've seen Gary's speed throughout this game through the few carries that he's had so far. We saw it on that run. And the throw to the slant route to Austin Croy was a little bit behind him, and we have an injury on the field. Looked like maybe the defender fell on his arm or something, but another injury here for Lakota West. Looks like number 5, Chris Johnson, the defensive back.
Yeah, unfortunate there for the injury. Actually, number 6, Cedric Thomas, looks like the one who's down on the field holding his arm in pain. And that route there that Mason just ran was the same route that we saw in the first play of the game, a slant to Croy. Unfortunately, incomplete, and it looked like Thomas got injured on the impact between the two.
And his helmet came off on that play, and we've seen throughout this game Thomas is the starting cornerback, and he also returns kicks for Lakota West. So that's a big injury for the Firebirds, and I would hope he's all right as he walks towards the sideline, being attended by Lakota West's medical staff. But yeah, Thomas is a huge player in this game for the Firebirds.
Now Gary and Sora both out right now. They brought in Trey Knapp in the backfield.
Adams drops back to Joe as the quarterback keeper. He has running room, a great hole there. Adams gets by a defender, and he has all day. He has daylight there. Great run there by Will Adams with the quarterback keeper, and it's a touchdown Comets as he had a lot of running room on that play, and that was an impressive show of speed there by the quarterback Will Adams as he scores a rushing touchdown here to extend the lead to 27, and that was quite the run there for Will Adams.
Yeah, I mentioned Knapp was in the backfield. When he's in the backfield, usually what happens is he's a great lead blocker there. We saw it on him. He picked up the linebacker and left a gaping hole for Adams to burst through and made a defender miss and just outran the rest of the Firebird defense to the end zone. Great run, putting the Comets up 28-0.
And the kick is up, and the extra point is good, making the lead 28-0. And also on that play, we saw a great downfield block by number 15, Jack Linsick, pushing his man like 20 yards downfield, which gave Will Adams some running room to cut towards the middle of the field. And that was an impressive run there by Will Adams, making it a 4-possession lead for Mason. And with 28 seconds left in the third quarter, Lakota West has to look to respond quickly here in their next drive.
Yeah, they can't take their time. They can't be running the ball, getting short gains. They've got to get a big play here. They've got to score, and they've got to score quickly. It's extremely difficult to come back from 28 points, especially with the combination of factors that West's offense just hasn't looked good at all here. It's actually been unsuccessful mostly through this whole entire game, and Mason has been clicking on offense. So score is needed here, and it's needed quickly.
And the offense for Lakota West has really been the Achilles heel all season. And they are last in total offense in the GMC, 8th in yards gained and 6th passing, 8th in rushing and 6th in passing. So they've really struggled on offense all year as the kick is up, and it will be returned from the 5-yard line. There's some running room to go, and a big hit by 14, Jaden Crawford, the defensive back. And that was another great showing there by the Mason Comet kick team.
Yeah, Firebirds coming on the field, trying to get something going. I'm going to look to see if they try any downfield passes, try to get 20, 30 yards on one play, because we've seen mostly, as of late, they've ran it with a Fari, screen safari, maybe even mixed in a run from Horton. So that's not going to be very effective here with so little time left.
And that return was from number 2, Harris, and that's their leading receiver. He's been pretty quiet thus far as Horton's pass was deflected at the line of scrimmage. But it's really been surprising so far that Harris hasn't gotten the ball as much as he's had this game. It's because he's been Lakota West's leading receiver throughout this season.
Yeah, I believe Afari's actually the leading receiver for West in this game, so unusual that Harris isn't getting many yards or catches.
A lot of West's game plan has been screen plays to Jordan Harris as Afari receives the handoff. And a good tackle there by 49 Alex Avella and 52 Casey Miller. And he has a name change for this game as he's usually number 4, but Comets changed his number to 52 in case they needed him on the offensive line. And that'll be the end of the third quarter here at Dwyer Field. The Mason Comets are up on the Lakota West Firebirds 28-0 after the long quarterback keeper from Will Adams. And we're heading into the fourth quarter here of this ball game. And Lakota West has to score quickly and push the tempo if they want to stay in this ball game.
And what situation are they in right now? A 3rd and 8 from about their 30-yard line. I feel like we've seen that many times this game where they're in 3rd and long situations, and thus far they've just been unable to convert.
And on your screen here, for the TV replay screen here, these are your times for the weekend and beyond. As if you somehow were to miss this game, these are the other showings we have here for the TV replay here on ICRC and other channels here on your screen. But great game here at Dwyer Field. The Mason Comets have controlled this game throughout the game. That was really since the start of the second quarter when Sora got those 2 rushing touchdowns. But West has shown that they've been able to move the ball, and we'll see what they do here on this drive. And Horton's in the shotgun Fafari to his right. He receives the snap. He drops back to throw. And he throws it out to number 14, Dylan Jones. He's able to gain the first down after trucking 23 Cole Pierce once he got to the sideline. Big little truck there by Jones. And that'll be a first down for Lakota West.
And right now we've seen this game has basically played out exactly like Mason's last game against Hamilton. They started off slow, controlled the second and third quarters, and then Hamilton got touchdown late. Let's see if that happens once again.
Another short, quick throw to Harris, as he's been busy all game. But a gain of, looks like about 4 or 5 there for the Firebirds, and it'll be 2nd and 6.
Yeah, those short throws are nice, but then again, there's 11:30 to go in the game, and you still have to score 28 points. So I'm not sure the short throws are really going to do much in the long run for the Firebirds.
Horton in the shotgun. He drops, hands it off to Afari. Afari has a little bit of running room. Blockers downfield, and that'll be enough for the first down. Great run there by, actually that's number 7, Jalen Swanson, the junior running back. As a little bit of a change of pace from Afari, as Swanson was able to gain the first down for Lakota West.
Yeah, one of his first, maybe even his first carry of the game. They haven't really gone to him much. It's been mostly Afari in the run game. Switched it up there, and he was effective.
And a play action pass by Lakota West was over the head of Jordan Harris. And that'll be an incomplete 2nd and 10 here for Lakota West.
Not quite sure what happened there. Ball just went completely sailing over the head of Harris. Not even close to being catchable. And once again, it looked like they were trying to do a short pass there where they get it, maybe take 1 or 2 steps back and let the ball loose. And that might get you 5 or 6 yards, but it's not going to get you much closer to the end zone.
Horton takes the snap, draws back to throw. He's pressured. He runs towards the middle of the field, and he'll be tackled by, looks like number 42, Sipe. He also, not only is he the kicker, but he's also plays linebacker for the Comets. And he made an impressive tackle there.
And guess what? We saw this earlier in the drive. Once again, it's a 3rd and 8. And they're going to have to convert. They converted earlier in the drive. And if they want to keep this drive going on, this is definitely 4-down territory for them. But they'd obviously like to get it here on this 3rd down.
10:35 left here in this 4th quarter. Horton receives the snap. And there's a flag on the play. Horton decided to keep it. And the ball is out. But it looks like Lakota West fell on it. But looks like the flag on the field might be a holding on Lakota West. We'll wait the call. But a little bit of a scare there for the Lakota West offense.
Good recovery by Swanson. Just jump on the ball there, preventing a turnover, which really would have basically ended this game for sure. There is a penalty, though. This could force a 3rd and even longer, or they might keep it as a 4th down. Let's see what they go with here. They're going to push them back. So this is going to be a 3rd and about 20 now for Lakota West.
And that was a great hit there by the junior defensive back, Jake Orlando, forcing the ball loose and creating an opportunity for the Mason defense. But the holding by Lakota West will negate the play, as there'll be a 3rd and, like you said, about 20 on this play, as that's a very long 3rd down conversion that Lakota West will have to make. They will have to throw the ball downfield. That's something they haven't really done throughout this game. So it'll be interesting to see what their plan of attack here is on 3rd and long. Orton's in the shotgun with back to his left. He receives the snap. He drops back to throw. Pump fakes it, rolls out to right, trying to find some space. He throws it up to his receiver. And it looks like he got the catch, but it's not enough for the first down. It'll be about 4th and maybe 5 on the play. That was number 14, Dylan Jones, keeping his feet in bounds. And that'll also stop the clock as well. And looks like a Lakota West Firebirds went to the ground there after the play.
Yeah, I believe it was Jones. Good throw there by Horton to just float it up to Jones in between the 2 defenders that were squeezing in on him. But he did get hit hard after the catch, and looks like it was hobbling off the field, but couldn't quite make it. And even though that didn't pick up the first down, that was huge, because like I said, this is 4-down territory. They're obviously going to go for it here, and that just made a play that was 3rd and 20. Now they're going to be a much, much easier 4th and 6 for the Firebirds.
And Jones able to get on his feet, kind of jog to the sidelines. Looked like the injury isn't too serious as both teams start to take the field here. And with 10:09 left here in this 4th quarter, it'll be interesting to see how Lakota West approaches getting points on the board with such a short amount of time and such a big lead to overcome. I mean, this Comet defense has been dominant all game, forcing some difficulties on this Lakota West offense, and they've made it very difficult to move the ball down the field.
Maybe the biggest play for the defense, for the Comet defense of the whole game. If they get a stop here, the game is, for all intents and purposes, over.
Harris in motion. He goes to the opposite side of the field. Orlando follows him. Horton will roll out to the left, and he is met in the backfield by this Comet defense. Number 4, Casey Miller. And that's a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Horton comes up limping, but it'll be another punt here for Lakota West.
Yeah, we can see him roll out to the right here, and he had number 35 open on the kind of run out to the flats, who probably would have picked up the first down, Brandon Smith. But the pressure there from Casey Miller and Comet defensive line just forced him to take the sack.
Now is on 4th down, and Jake Harris, the senior quarterback, will come in for this drive for his first possession of the game, as Harris is in the shotgun formation with Gary behind him, as it'd be a quarterback keeper. Jake Harris had a touchdown run against Sycamore a few weeks ago, and there's a flag after the play. Number 91, Tyler Bentley's helmet comes off, but see what the call is on the field.
I believe it will be a horse collar, yes, on Bentley, I think. Tried to get him from behind, just grabbed his back of his neck and pulled him down. We usually don't see Harris actually running the ball on those QB keeps, so that's usually Adams who does that. But I guess a change of pace and to catch the defense off, to surprise the defense, and it worked.
Harris in the pistol formation with Gary behind him. He takes the snap, and it's a handoff to Gary. And Gary has some running room, and he's tackled at the 25-yard line for close to the first down marker. It looks like he might be a yard short there. He's right on the marker, and it'll be 2nd and 1 for the Comets. Great run there by Gary.
Yeah, Gary's just burst of speed when he gets through the hole is very impressive, and it's hard for the linebackers who are maybe waiting for him to keep up with him. And he's been very successful in this game. Basically every run he's had has gone for 10 yards or more.
Harris takes the snap, and it's a pitch to Gary. And not a lot of running room for Gary as he's tackled there by number 45, Landon Rozier. And that'd be about a loss of 3 there for the Comets.
And I gotta say, once again, a pitch to the short side, and they have not been effective at all this entire game. He just got swallowed up by about 4 defenders for the Firebirds, setting up a 3rd and short just outside or around the field goal range of Charlie Sipe, a little bit outside, so they want to get some yards here.
8:20 left in this 4th quarter. Harris receives the snap, and it's another handoff to Gary, and Gary has some running room, breaks a few tackles, and he's tackled around inside the 20-yard line in the red zone at around the 18-yard line. And the Comets are able to convert yet again on 3rd down, and they will move the chains.
Gary's small, but he was just fighting forward there. After first contact was made, he just pushed forward and was able to pick up even a few more yards and move the ball closer to the Lakota West end zone.
Number 3, Logan Dalton has checked in the game for Gary. He had a 3-touchdown performance in week 2 against Withrow, the 55-0 win for the Comets. So Dalton is just as capable as Gary, and he'll receive the handoff on this snap. And Dalton has some running room, and Great run to the outside there for the Comets, and that's about a gain of maybe 3 or 4 there, as that was Dalton's first carry of this game.
Good bounce out by Dalton, and then he just lowered his shoulder, as you can see in the replay, and pushed forward for a few more yards. And that's what you want to see when you're in this situation. Up 28, you don't need big runs, just runs 3, 4, 5 yards, and you'll be in good shape.
Harris calling out cadence at the line of scrimmage. He takes the snap and it's a pitch to Gary once again. He cuts inside, and he's met by, looks like, number 91, Tyler Bentley. And minimal gain there for Gary.
Bentley just completely swallowed Gary up on that play. Looks like he could have maybe had some room if he was able to get around there, but Bentley's so big with a long reach that he was able to just drag him down, forcing a 3rd and 6 or 7, and tough decision here whether to pass it or run it in this situation.
And 3 receivers to the left side, the wide side of the field, and there's a flag on the play. It would be a false start on the Comets, but it looked like the Comets were playing a rollout to the wide side of the field, but the Comets will back up 5 yards after the false start.
Missed opportunity there. The Fairfield defense was, Fairfield Firebirds, I don't know, I've said that a few times, but the Firebirds defense was scrambling there, weren't completely in position. There was about 2 receivers who would have been open if they had gotten that snap off. Now that penalty, that mistake cost them, forcing a 3rd and about 10 or 11.
6:10 left here in the 4th quarter. Harris is in the pistol formation. Takes the snap, and it's a play action to Gary. Harris will roll out to the left, regain his feet, and he is sat behind the line of scrimmage. That looks like number,
I believe that was 9. Once again, Xavier Peters with another sack. His 3rd of the game. There was a flag down, though, on the play. Going to be holding on the Comets' offense. They do decide to decline the penalty, though, forcing a 4th down and about 20 yards, and they're at the 30-yard line, so they're not really in field goal range. It's a bit too close into the punt, but they're also 20 yards away, so not really any good decisions here for the Comets.
You're in that little gray area of whether to punt or kick it, but it's 4th and about 15, 4th and like 20 for the Comets. So it's a huge conversion here that they're going to have to overcome, but it's I'm interested to see whether the Comets play conservative and just give the ball to Gary, or they just try to be aggressive and throw it downfield. They have a 4-possession lead, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just kind of play it safe here with 5.5 minutes left in this ball game. Looks like a timeout's called by, I think, Mason. But a 28-0 lead. I'd be interested to see how Kastner approaches this situation with the lead that he has.
Yeah, I would feel that we're going to see either a run, or if they do pass it, probably a screen or something. The one thing you want to do here is not make a mistake. If you just finish this game out, don't make mistakes, play it conservative, there's no doubt that you'll get the win here. So I would expect Kastner to do just that.
And Dakota West, the Comets take the field after the timeout. It'll be 4th and long at the Dakota West 30-yard line.
And they do bring Sipe out, possibly with this such a large lead. They might be testing out his range just to see maybe in future games if they need him to make a field goal from back here. They'll know if he's capable.
Canoe will be the holder on this kick. And this is a very long field goal for the Comets in Sipe.
47 yards, it looks like.
This would be his career long. The kick is up, and a high kick up, and the kick is good. Big kick there by Charles Sipe, as that'll give the Comets a 31-point lead. By far, Sipe's longest field goal of his career, and that was an impressive kick there by Charles Sipe.
Yeah, it was a little low, but it definitely had the distance and sailed right through the uprights. No doubt about it. And while that may not have a huge effect on the score here, the end result of the game, that's big because the Comets know that in the future, if they need to kick from 40+ yards, Sipe has the ability. He can make it from there, and that could play an important role in closer games in the future.
And with the starting kicker last year, Andrew Hauer, graduating, Hauer was a very consistent kicker here for Mason, and there was wonder in the offseason whether or not who would replace him. And I say, other than that missed kick by Sipe earlier in the game, Sipe has done a pretty good job throughout this game and the season. When he's got the ball off, he's done very successful. He's had a few of his kicks blocked this year, but he seems to be growing into the role quite nicely throughout the season, and he's proven to be dependable if he has time to kick the ball. And a line drive kick that takes a bounce to number 6, Thomas, and he is hit initially by, couldn't tell who it was, but number 15 Jack Lenzik ends up making the tackle as Harris is down at their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, right there. Looked like Harris tried to bounce off that first tackle and try to get the edge, but Newhouse just completely stopped that from getting anywhere, and we've seen consistently this entire game, or Lenzik rather, stopped him from getting outside, but we've seen this entire game that Mason's special teams, especially on the kick and kickoffs and punts, they've completely stuffed the returners for Lakota West, and it's really hurt West because their field position has been awful.
And Fari will receive the handoff. Actually, it's number 7 Swanson, and maybe they're probably not going to play a Fari with a lead like this to keep him healthy, but it's Jalen Swanson on the carry, and about a gain of 6 there for the Firebirds.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to risk injury for Afari, your leading rusher. Down 31 points with really no chance to win. So I think it's smart to test out Ramsey.
And Swanson again. He has some running room. He tries to hurdle Sipe, but he was able to trip him up there. Nice show of vertical there for Swanson, and that'll be enough to move the chains for Lakota West.
Let's see if, as I said previously, in the Hamilton game, Hamilton got a touchdown late. Let's see if West can do the same.
And the handoff to Swanson, he would be taken down at around the 40-yard line for a gain of about 4 or 5 there on the play. And Swanson was able to have some nice vision there. He was able to make the cut inside.
Yeah, now down 31 points. It is going to be a running clock for the rest of this game unless West can maybe score a few touchdowns. But they're going to need to move fast if they want to get any points on the board at all.
Under 3 minutes left here in this game. Horton receives the snap, and it's another handoff to Swanson, and he's met behind the line of scrimmage by looks like number 55. He's not on our roster sheet, but he made a great play there. Another great play here by this defensive line, and that's about a loss of 2 here for the Firebirds.
Another 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 here for the Firebirds. Faced it all game.
Horton drops about to throw a deep throw, an attempt to, and a great catch there by Jay Harris. We mentioned earlier that he's been quiet thus far, and he made a great catch, great throw and catch from Horton to Harris, and that'll be a first down for the Firebirds. Easily the longest play of scrimmage here for the Lakota West, and they'll be out of bounds at around the Comet 26-yard line, and that was a great throw and catch there from Horton to Harris. And off to Swanson once again, and he is met by a few Comets there for a gain of about 3. And the Lakota West Firebirds are finding themselves close to the end zone here.
Yeah, that throw on the previous play to Harris was easily pretty much the only deep throw they've tried all game. So just makes you wonder with the success of that why they didn't attempt a deep throw earlier in the game.
Gordon drops ball, actually hands it off to Swanson. Swanson's running to the outside, and he has some running room, and he goes out of bounds. And with the running clock, the clock will continue to move as we're approaching under 1 minute left in this ball game. It doesn't seem to be a huge rush here on this Lakota West offense, as there seem to be contentious to stand around.
Yeah, and there was a holding call on the outside. As you can see, Swanson got it on the outside. They did call a hold on the receiver blocking, and that's going to take him back all the way back to past the 40-yard line. So now with 30 seconds left, not sure there's it's going to be pressed for time to even get some type of points here.
And there's a timeout called by Lakota West. That'll stop the clock at 31 seconds left. And they're going to try to get some points on the board before this game is over. 31 seconds left in this game. And at the Comet 29-yard line, they don't have a lot of time to find the end zone. So they got to see if they have another deep throw like they did to Harris that one play. And it was interesting to see what their plan of attack here with not a lot of time left in this game.
Yeah, and just once again in this game, the Comet defense has shown their strength. They've allowed 0 points, 7, and right now 0 once again. So just great display of defense, and really showing that that's definitely their stronger side.
And Gordon will roll out left, a deep throw here, and it'll be dropped on the play. It'll be an incomplete pass for the Firebirds, intended for Harris once again there. But he able to drop it before getting his feet down. And with the running clock here, that looks like to be the last play of this game here, as the Mason Comets defeated the Lakota West Firebirds 31-0, putting up their second shutout of the season. And an impressive showing from Mason on all sides, all facets of the game, offense, defense, or special teams. And if I'm Brian Kastner and the Mason coaching staff, I'm very content with how my team played this day.
Yeah, we saw the first quarter. Both teams really started out slow. No points scored for either side, but from that point on, the Comets just dominated, scoring 31 points in the final 3 quarters and holding strong defensively, scoring on the offensive end as well. And as you said, if you're Coach Kastner, you've got to be extremely happy with the way your team played in these last 3 quarters rather.
And I thought the Comets did a great job containing David Afari in this game. And other than a few runs that got away from the defense, they did a great job containing Afari and his playmaking ability. That was just about do it here in this game. Your Mason Comets won 31-0 here at Dwyer Field. I'm Brian Hunnell, alongside me Jake Kendall, and this is ICRC Sports, and we're signing off here.